Hi, welcome back to Dealing with Dinner. Again, this is a meatasaurus versus a veggiesaurus, trying to make one meal that has just very simple components that we can share across them without having to make two separate meals. So tonight, we're gonna make zoodles with a black bean sauce, and we'll also have our chicken cutlets with the same black bean sauce. Takes about 20 minutes to do. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Kevin. My family calls me Chef Kiki. Years ago, I married this beautiful Italian girl, and I thought my cooking days were over. But alas, here I am, dealing with dinner again. Okay, so tonight we're going to meet the challenge of meatasauruses and vegiesauruses and try to make one meal that satisfies both of them. So tonight we're going to make a chicken dish that has a black bean sauce, and we're going to make zucchini noodles called zoodles as our vegetarian dish, and we're going to share the black bean sauce across both. Most of the work's going to be in the sauce. The chicken is easy, the zoodles are easy. We're bringing them together and we get done pretty quickly. So the first thing we're going to do tonight is we're going to start our quick sauce. The black bean sauce is a tomato sauce base, and we use black beans because it's got high protein for our vegetarian. Also has a nice flavor, mixes beautifully with the bay seasoning we're going to use and our chicken. So let's start with the sauce first. We'll get this going. We have plum tomatoes, 2 cans of plum tomatoes. We have some black beans from a can. They have been rinsed thoroughly. We have onions, 3 cloves of garlic, fresh basil, and fresh oregano. We grow all of our herbs because it's easy to do, much less expensive than buying it from the store, and the freshness is a wonderful flavor. So for our meatasauruses tonight, we've got 2 chicken breasts, which we're going to slice in half and then tenderize them and get them nice and thin. We've got flour with Old Bay Seasoning, and we'll put salt and pepper on the cutlets themselves and bread them, and then we'll be on our way. This whole dinner should take about 20 minutes. The sauce will be the longest thing. That's why we're going to get that going first. And so let's do that. All right, so we're going to start a sauce here. This is on medium heat. We'll add a little bit of olive oil. We'll start first with a little bit of onions, half an onion, chopped pretty roughly. All right, onions are getting nice and translucent, no color. We don't want any color on them. Now I'm going to add our garlic. We use 3 cloves. 2 cloves would be plenty, but we like to keep vampires away, so we use 3. All right, tomatoes. Now these are diced plum tomatoes, which are a little sweeter than regular tomatoes. We like it like that, and they're rough. Normally we would use an immersion blender to get this nice and smooth, but my wife likes her sauce chunky, so we are going to leave it chunky. Whatever my wife wants, I do. So now see how watery it is? It's going to be nice and watery for a little while, and then it's going to start thickening up. So we're going to kind of let that get going. Salt, and we'll do a lot more testing of seasoning as we get closer to being done. We want that on a pretty good simmer. All right, so now we have the sauce going. We're going to get chicken prepared. These 2 cutlets we pulled out last night. They thawed in one day. We'll pick off any extra fat or anything. These look nice and clean. Slice them in half. And now we'll put a little piece of cling film on top before we start pounding them out. I do If I don't do that, then they start spraying chicken meat all over the walls, and my wife doesn't like that very much. So, all right, I have this beautiful meat cleaver. This is all being done so it tenderizes the chicken. It cooks fast, it's nice and tender, and more uniform. And I've got this beautiful meat cleaver that my vegetarian daughter gave me, which is kind of ironical, don't you think? But all right, so those are nice and uniformly thin. Seasoning. Meat needs to have salt and pepper to reach its full flavor, so we do that before we dredge it in the flour. Even though flour has some seasoning in it, I like to put the seasoning right on the meat as well and let this flour seal it all in. All right, again, so we're just going to dredge these. Just a little bit of flour. We shake it off pretty good. And just to be clear, we have two cutting boards, one for our meat, one for our vegetables. I don't ever get them crossed up. Okay, all right, so with all of our other ingredients prepped and ready to go, we're going to check our sauce. You can see it's starting to thicken up. Still a little bit watery, but still thickening up. And I don't add my herbs until near the end, because if the herbs release all their flavor, you smell it in the air. That's what you're smelling, is the herbs releasing their flavor. We want to keep all that flavor in the sauce, so I kind of put it at the end. So I'm going to add my fresh oregano. And my fresh basil. We're going to add our black beans. Black beans are only going to take about 5 minutes to get cooked. Turn our heat up just a little bit. And then a little Parmesan. This is reggianio, Parmigiano reggianio. I'm going to add about a half an ounce. Gives a beautiful flavor. All right, all these things are going to get melted in together, and see the chunks of the tomato starting to soften. And they won't be smooth by the time this gets done, but it'll be nice and uniform. All right. So I guess that has about 5 more minutes to go. So we can get going on our chickens, which will take about 4 minutes. Again, I got medium heat, a little olive oil. All right, well, it's time to add our chicken. I'm going to lay these away from us so we don't get splattered. We're going to cook those until the edges turn a little bit white and they get a little bit of color on them. All right, so see they're starting to get a little bit white on the edge. Time to turn them over. Nice golden color. We like a little kick in our sauce. So it's a little sriracha in our sauce. Juice is starting to come out. That means it's done. So let's get started on our zucchini with our spiralizer. This is a great little tool. Costs like 25 bucks on Amazon, I think. And all we do is spiralize our zucchini. Cook those in the wok. Our last step here is our wok and making our zoodles. I use a wok because it's incredibly fast heating and fast cooking. I can get a lot of food inside of it. You can use a skillet. Anything that'll hold the heat will work just fine. These will take about 60 seconds at the most to cook. And we are going to use a very light oil with a high smoke point. bit of salt, not too much. The zucchini is just starting to release water, so nice and crispy and nice and cooked through though. All right. Chicken. I'm going to save a couple pieces, or at least one for my wife because she's going to want seconds. Okay, and here's our sauce, nice and thick. It's much smoother now. We'll save a little bit for later. Okay. So here we go. Chicken and black bean and zoodles with black bean sauce. All took about 20 minutes from start to finish. Easy to do. Buon appetito.